Hey my dear lovely students, a very good morning to all of you. Once again I am in front of you to start on with a new chapter, that is chapter 3, decimals. In this particular class we will be discussing on with the introduction to decimals and various in terms of decimal, that are decimal places, like decimals and unlike decimals, and how can we compare decimals. Do watch the complete video for the better explanation of your chapter, and if you have any doubt, kindly ask me anytime, either through commenting down the YouTube video or through WhatsApp. There is a request to all of my lovely students is to complete all the assignments you get on the very same day. This would help you to reduce the stress and you will not have to hurry whenever the school opens. So without wasting any more time, let's straight get into our today's video on decimals. Thank you. Decimals. First of all, we will start on with the definition of decimal. What does the definition of a decimal say? A fraction whose denominator is power of 10 and whose numerator a fraction whose denominator is power of 10 and whose numerator is expressed by figures placed to the right side of decimal point. So this is the definition of decimal. What does this states? A fraction whose denominator is power of 10. Any fraction in which the denominator will be in the form of power of 10. What does this mean? 10 to the power 1, that is 10. 10 to the power 2 will be equal to 100. 10 to the power 3 will be equal to 1000. And whose numerator is expressed by figures that can be of any number, as we have studied the whole number which starts on with 0 and ends with to infinite. So in here, if we are talking about figure, this means that we will start on with a natural number. Any natural number. The numerator can be any natural number placed to the right side of the decimal point, and we express it as the right side to the decimal point. We will learn more about it in the upcoming minutes. Next, what can we write? The numbers which can be expressed in decimal form are called decimals. For example, what we can write? 1 by 10, 1 by 100, 5 by 10, 5 by 1000. We can write any number. Why am I saying you that this particular number one upon 10 can be written as 0.1. 1 by 100 can be written as 0.01. 5 by 10 can be written as 0.5, and 5 by 1000 can be written as 0.005. And how can we write all these is by simply dividing it. Suppose 1 is being divided by 10. If we divide 1 by 10, can we divide 1 with 10? No, we will have to put a point over here that we have studied in all the previous classes. We will put a point over here. What do we get? We get a 0. 10 1 ja 10. So this is the proper decimal form of the number 1 by 10. So we can write 1 by 10 is equal to 0.1, or we can put a 0 on the left side to make it more clear and understanding, that is 0.1. Similarly, we can solve it for this particular thing, for this particular thing, and this particular thing. Let us see this example. What do we have? We have 5 upon 1000. When we divide 5 with 1000, can we divide 5 with 1000? No, never. What we'll have to do? We'll have to put a decimal point. That is, if we put a point, what do we get? 0. Now, can 50 be divided by 1000? No, not at all. So, can we put one more point over here? No. We can only put a single point in any division. We will put a 0 over here. What do we get? We again get a 0. Now, 500 is divided by 1000. No, not at all. Once again, we will put a 0. What do we get? Again a 0. Now 5000 can be divided by 1000 in how many times? 5 times. 1000 5 ja 5000. What is the answer? 0.005. And as I said in the last question, we can write a 0 on the left side of decimal point to make it more eye-catching and clear. So we can write 5 upon 1000 can be written as 0.005. I hope it is clear to everyone. In this particular question, we have to learn one more thing. Let's see what we are going to learn now. The thing which we are going to learn is, suppose we have any form of decimal, that is, we have 73.62, 95.09, or take one more example, 5.02. In all of the given examples, what do we see? 73.62, 95.09 or 95.09, 5.02. The numbers on the right side of decimal are known as decimal part. The numbers or the digits which are on the right side of decimal point are known as decimal part. These are called decimal part, and the numbers which are on the left side of decimal are known as whole number part. Again, which are on the left side of decimal are known as whole number part, and which are on the right side are known as decimal part. Which are on the right side are known as a decimal part, and which are on the left side are known as whole number part. WP stands for whole number part and DP stands for decimal part. I hope it is clear to everyone. We will write we will write definition of decimal part and whole part in the upcoming minutes. So first of all, let's understand this once more. Decimals. What are decimals? A fraction whose denominator is power of 10. Any fraction in which the denominator is of the form power of 10. What does this mean? I explained you power of 10 means, let me explain over here once again. Power of 10 means 10 to the power 1, that is 10. 10 to the power 2 will be equal to 100. What does power 2 means? That is 10 is being multiplied to itself 2 times. 10 to the power 3 will be equal to 1000. What does this power 3 means? 10 is being multiplied to itself 3 times, what do we get? 1000, 1, 1, 1. Multiplied will be equal to 1 and triple 0. This is how we multiply the form of 10. So a fraction whose denominator is power of 10 and whose numerator is expressed by figures placed to the right side of the decimal point are known as decimals. The numbers which can be expressed in the decimal form are called decimals, or a simple definition for decimal which you all can learn are the numbers which can be expressed in the decimal form are called decimals. I said you about the power of 10, so I took example related to that is 1 by 10, 1 by 100, 5 by 10, 5 by 1000. 1 by 10 can be written as 0.1, and how did it came? I solved here and made you clear. 1 by 100 can be written as 0.01, 5 upon 10 can be written as 0.5, and 5 upon 1000 can be written as 0.005. It is not important to divide it all the time. I just divided it to make you explain more clearly. Moreover, in the upcoming video classes, I will teach you, or in this particular class, I will teach you how to simply convert a fraction into decimal without dividing if the denominator is of the form power of 10. Now, let's move further. I taught you about the decimal part and the whole number part. The number which are on the right side of decimal point are known as decimal part, and the numbers which are on the left side of decimal are known as whole number part. I hope it is clear. Let's see the definition. Decimal part. The digits or numbers which are on a right side of decimal are known as decimal part. 5.907. Here 907 is decimal part. 907 is 0.907 is decimal part. 6.45, here 45, that is 0.45 is decimal part. I hope it is clear to everyone. 0.45 is decimal part. Let's move further. Whole number part. Whole number part. The digits or numbers which are on left side of decimal are known as whole number part. For example, 5.25, 15.92, Here 5 is whole number part and 15 is again whole number part. What we can write? 5 is a whole number part and 15 is a whole number part. So this is how we express decimals in whole number part and decimal part. I hope it is clear to everyone. Let's see further. Now we will study about like decimals and unlike decimals. Like decimals. You all know? First we will write the definition of like decimal. What does like decimal? Decimals having the same number of decimal places are called like decimals. What are like decimals? Decimals having the same number of decimal places are called like decimals. So what does decimal places means? Okay, so we will see decimal places first. Decimal places. Then we will move on to like decimal. What is decimal places? What are decimal places? The number of digits contained in the decimal part, the number of digits contained in the decimal part of a decimal gives the number of decimal places. What does the definition say? What does the definition say? Decimal places, the number of digits contained in the decimal part of a decimal gives the number of decimals. How many digits will be there in the decimal part are referred to as decimal places. For example, suppose I have a number 6.72. How many digits does it have in decimal point? It has 2 digits in decimal point. This is the decimal part. How many digits does it have in decimal part? 2 digits. So it will have number of places. Number of decimal places will be equal to 2. If I say 7.345, how many number of places of decimal? 3. Number of decimal places 9.4375. We have 4 digits on the right side of decimal point. So we have number of decimal places is. I hope it is clear all. Now we will start on with like decimals. like decimals. Decimals having same number of decimal places are known as like decimals. Decimals having same number of decimal places are known as like decimal. Let's understand this with an example. 9.42, 3.57, 6. Example 1. 6.72, 52.91. Suppose we have this example. In all of these examples, we can clearly see that the digits after the decimal point is 2 in each case. So it has a decimal place of 4. It has a decimal place of 2. 9.42 has decimal place 2. 57 again has decimal place 2. 6.72 again has decimal place 2, and 52.91 again has decimal place 2. So in all the given example we have 2 decimal places. So what is like decimal? Decimals having same number of decimal places, and in all the given example we have same decimal place 42, 57, 72, 91. 2 places of decimal, 2 places of decimal, 2 places of decimal, 2 places of decimal. So this is an example of like decimal. Let's take one more example. 19.534, 16.91, 17.925 and 20.121. Okay, in this particular example we can see that here we have 3 places of decimal, here we have 2 places of decimal, here we have 3 places of decimal, and here we have 3 places of decimal. So what will be like decimal? The decimal in which the decimal places are same. So we have 3 places of decimal, here also 3 places of decimal, and here also 3 places of decimal. So these 3 are 19.534, 17.925, 20.121 are like decimals. All the decimals in which the number of decimal places will be same are known as like decimals. So these 3 are example of a like decimal, and this will not be a from this example. This will not be an example of like decimal. I hope it is clear to everyone. What is like decimal? Decimals having same number of decimal places are known as like decimal, like 9.42, 3.57, 6.72, 52.91. In all of these examples, we have 2 places of decimal, 2 places of decimal, 2 places of decimal, and 2 places of decimal. So these are example of like decimals. These are example of like decimal. In this particular example, after decimal we have 3 digits. So 3 places of decimal, 3 places of decimal, 3 places of decimal, and this is a 2 place of decimal. So these 3 will be the example of like decimals. I hope it is clear to everyone. Now let's see unlike decimal. Unlike decimals. Decimals having different number of decimal places are called unlike decimals. All the decimals in which we have different number of decimal places. And what did we study in like decimal? Same number of decimal places. This was like decimal. But in unlike decimal, we are studying different number of decimal places. This will be an example of unlike decimal. Let's take an example. 5.2, 19.45, 17.92, 1, 18.9453. In the first example, we have one place of decimal. Here we have two place of decimal. Here we have three place of decimal, and again here we have four place of decimal. So in all the given examples, we have different number of decimal places. Here we have one place of decimal. Here we have two place of decimal. Here we have three place of decimal, and here we have four place of decimal. So this is an unlike decimal. And how we can convert unlike decimals into like decimals, this will be taught to you by me in the upcoming videos. So what is like decimal? Decimals having different number of decimal places are called unlike decimal. 5.2 had one place of decimal, 19.45 had two place of decimal, 17.921 had three place of decimal, and 18.9453 had four place of decimal. So this is a unlike decimal. I hope it is clear to all of you. Now we will learn about comparing decimals. This will be the last topic for today's video. That is how we can compare decimal. Comparing decimals. There are few steps which need to be followed before converting decimal. Suppose we are going to compare two decimals, so what will be the given steps? Step 1. Convert the given decimals into like decimal. First of all, we will convert all the decimals into like decimals. Step 2. First compare the whole number part, the decimal with the greater whole number is greater. Step 3. If the whole number part is equal compare the 10th digit. The decimal with the bigger digit in the 10th place is step 4, that is the last step. If the 10th digits are also equal, compare the 100th digit and so on. These were the steps of comparing decimal. What is the first step? Convert the given decimal into like decimal. First, compare the whole number part. The decimal with the greater whole number is greater. Third, if the whole number part is equal, compare the 10th digit. Compare the 10th digit. The decimal with the bigger digit in the 10th place is greater. If the 10th digits are also equal, compare the 100th digit, so on. So first of all, how we will convert unlike decimal into like decimal? Unlike decimal into like decimal. Very easy. Suppose we have two fractions, that is 19.457 and the other fraction is 19.2. So how we can convert this has 3 place of decimal and this have 1 place of decimal. We will convert this decimal into this particular form. It has 3 place of decimal, so we'll make this 1 place of decimal 3 places of decimal by putting 0, that is 19.200. Putting 0 on the right side of decimal point does not change the decimal. So now the fraction decimal is 19.457 and 19.200. If I ask you to convert 5.72 is a decimal and 4.5, how we can convert it into like decimal? By putting a 0. 5.72 have 2 places of decimal and 4.50 also has 2 places of decimal. So they both are now like decimals. We can convert unlike decimal into like decimal by putting 0. I hope it is clear. Now let's compare. Suppose I have an example of comparison 7.45 and 9.457. First of all, we will convert this into like decimals. How we will convert? It has 2 places of decimal, it has 3 places of decimal. We will convert it into 3 places of decimal. We convert it into more, that is 7.450 and 9.457. How we will compare? First of all, we will see the whole number part. What was the first step? First, compare the whole number part. We will compare the whole number part. So in the whole number part, what we have? 7, and in the whole number part, what do we have? 9, which is greater than 9. So the comparison will be this side. This was example 1. Let's take another example. 19.52, 20.510. First of all, we will convert it into like decimal by putting 0. That is 19.520 and 20.510. We can put 0 or we can cancel this 0. Both will be the same. Because I said you that putting a 0 on the right side of a digit does not change the decimal. So first of all, we will see the whole number part. There is 19 and there is 20. Which is greater? 20. So this will be the comparison. Let's take one more example. Example 3. 21.45 and 21.561. What we will do? First of all, we will convert it into like decimal. That is 21 point. Here we have 2 places. Here we have 3 places. We will convert it into 3. 21.450 and 21.561. 21 and 21. Both the whole number parts are same. What we will do? We will compare if the whole number part is equal, compare the 10th digits. The decimal with the bigger digit in the 10th place is greater. We will compare the 10th digit. Which one is 10th digit? This is 10th. This is 100th. I hope you all know. Again, this is tenth and this is hundredth. So we will compare the tenth digit, 21.450 and 21.561. Both are same, we will leave. Now we will compare tenth. What do we have in tenth digit? 4. And what do we have in tenth digit? 5. Which one is greater? 5. So this will be the comparison. Let's take one more example. 19.457 and 19.458. Here both are already in like decimal. What we will do? 19 and 19 both are same. We will move on to 10th place. What do we have in 10th place? 4. Both 4 are same. What do we have in 100th place? 5. 100th place both are same. What do we have in 1000th place? 7. And what do we have in 1000th place? 8. Which one is greater? 8. So this is how we compare decimals. I hope it is clear to everyone. If you have any doubt, please do ask me, and you will get notes regarding to all these topics in your WhatsApp group. Write all this in your copy. So this is all for the today's video session. In the next video, we will learn about converting decimals into fractions. Thank you. And if you have any doubt, please do ask me. Thank you all.